hate you! I won't let you go!
My Hero Academia Vigilantes episode 12 is out, titled Goodbye to Dad. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the episode as well as the entire season each week, so be sure to Detroit smash that like button and subscribe to the Giroki channel so that you won't miss any My Hero Academia Vigilantes content. Now, the episode begins with us back at Naru Fest, with Aizawa calling Midnight and letting her know that he ran into a villain and can't make it to the event. With everyone wondering about the blackout and the continuation of Naru Fest, Makoto asks Captain Celebrity to bring a few spare generators so that they can power everything back up and continue on with the show. Due to the circumstances with the power outage being the result of a villain attack, President Mike can no longer host as he and the other heroes are officially on standby in case of an emergency. Koichi goes out as the Crawler, bringing Pop her microphone, and Pop takes over as the new host in place of President Mike to explain to the crowd about their current situation and to keep them busy and calm until they can get everything set up. We switch back to Knuckle chasing down Hachiska, and Knuckle mid-chase gets a call from the hospital. He gets an update on his wife's condition and is needed at the hospital, and he tells them that he understands and his whole family will be right over, and Knuckle continues to chase down Hachiska. Back at Naru Fest, Pop informs everyone of the current situation with a blackout and reassures everyone that everything is okay. She has her fans light up a pathway with their glow sticks to form an emergency exit just in case, and she begins to perform for them until the main event is ready to begin. And of course, the anime gives us another original banger for Pop to sing. Now, the song Pop sings is actually the song she was working on a few episodes ago, since it contains the lyrics of a certain hoodie giving her courage. And if you pay attention to the lyrics, the song is about Koichi and her chasing after him after the day he saved her from drowning when they were younger. Aizawa nearby can hear the crowd cheering and tells the eel villain that he'll just have to catch Pop's next show. Aizawa then hears a bee and looks over to see the bee using its needle to suck fluid out of the eel's body. Aizawa uses his scarf to swat at the bee, but the bee flies off and he wonders what that was all about. Back to Hachiska, and we see that Knuckle has managed to lead her into a dead end. To get the upper hand, Hachiska decides to have her bees inject Tamo's body with Trigger. Here we find out that since the bee user is a parasitic being in need of a host's body, the bee user's personality is basically the result of the fusion between the swarm of parasitic bees and the host's own brain. This means that a shot of Trigger will weaken the bee user's control over Tamo's underlying spirit. Hence, the bee's mission takes less priority and the feelings of Tamo begin to rise to the surface. Tamo's memories begin to flood in as we see flashbacks of Tamo wanting to play in a concert and Knuckle not being the most supportive father and trying to keep her from being herself, on top of putting a lot of the responsibility on her mother to take care for her. This of course caused her to lash out on him, with her mother wanting her to apologize for what she had said to Knuckle. Tamo then storms out of the house and ends up running into a young girl with an eye patch over her left eye. This of course was Hachiska's previous host right before they end up taking over Tamo's body. The feelings of these memories boil over and Tamo rages at Knuckle again, calling him dad this time, letting Knuckle know that his daughter is still in there. Knuckle states that he knows he didn't do right by her as he spent a lot of time reflecting on the past. Hachiska suddenly charges at Knuckle as the bee with the eel villain's fluid injects Hachiska with the fluid, giving her the ability to use the electric eel quirk. She then stabs Knuckle in the heart, shocking his heart with her electrode claws. Knuckle analyzes the situation, coming to the conclusion that she used the same tactic he had with his taser Knuckles, but instead of a shock to the chest, she went straight for his heart to deliver a shock straight to his system. The anime surprisingly removed Knuckles smiling, proud of his daughter's creative and clever thinking when he collapses to the ground. Seeing Knuckles' body on the ground, Hachiska walks off holding her arm in pain and tells Knuckle that she will see him in hell. In a flashback, we see the future League of Villains broker, Giran, meeting up with Knuckle, letting us know that Knuckle has ties to the criminal underworld. Knuckle places an order for painkillers, a few chemicals that can attract insects, and he orders his taser Knuckles, which catches Giran off guard. Now, originally in the manga, Knuckle actually does all of this through the phone, but I definitely love the anime's approach in just having Knuckle secretly meeting Giran at a bar to do business. Back at Narufest, they finally bring the power back on, and the Featherhats finally perform their big show. Nearby, Hachisuka sees everyone having a great time and plans to crash the event, but that's when Knuckle Duster emerges from the shadows back from the dead. He lets her know that it should be her on that stage, and Hachisuka doesn't want a pep talk from him. Knuckle pulls out a wire connected to his taser knuckle from his chest and tells her that despite the bee user in her head sending signals to her brain, deep down she knows that there is no better dad than him. Hachisuka, tired of Knuckle, claims that they actually liked Tamao's body, but to end this fight, they are just going to use up Tamao and move on to the next host, and she begins to charge at Knuckle again. The anime here extends their fight with amazing animation as the two go at it once more. Knuckle sees Hachisuka isn't bluffing this time because she sends a swarm of genuine bomb bees, and her electrode claws are now using a high enough voltage to fry her own body. Since Hachisuka is using two quirks without proper training, Tamao's body won't be able to handle it, meaning that his daughter is going to die. Knuckles sees the look of rejection in her eyes, reminding him of the day she left the house, where all he could do was yell at her instead of stepping over and reaching out to his little girl. But Knuckles states that today he's going to take that step and get through to Tamao. Knuckle and Hachisuka go head to head, with Knuckle countering her attack. He makes sure to remove the thought of his opponent being his daughter, making no distinction between his opponent being a loved one or a hated enemy, and uses his taser knuckle to land a direct hit onto Hachisuka's chest, stopping his daughter's heart and ending the fight once and for all. Hachisuka, after being hit by the taser knuckle, falls to the ground, and Knuckle tells her that she's going to lose blood flow to her brain, so her body is already dead. Hachisuka activates the electric eel quirk, and Knuckle notes that shocking her heart back to life would be the only way to save her body, because that's exactly what he did to himself earlier with his taser knuckles, when she had stopped his heart. He then steps on her wrist, not allowing Hachisuka to save his daughter's body. Since Tamao is the bee user's host, once Tamao's brain stops, they will also lose the ability to think. On top of losing control over the body, the swarm is going to flee the dying hive mind off of pure survival instinct, and all that will be left is the queen bee. Knuckle takes out some tweezers and digs into Tamao's eye, taking out the giant parasitic bee that had took over his daughter's body. Knuckle tosses the parasite to the floor and calls the swarm back with the pheromone cocktail provided by Giran that's set to blow. With all of the bees gone, he heads to Tamao's body and takes off his mask to cover Tamao's eye. We then learn from Giran and Knuckles' conversation that his special made taser knuckle is made of a stun gun that has a built-in automated external defibrillator, a special weapon built specifically for stopping and restarting a person's heart. We see Knuckle using the defibrillator, performing CPR on Tamao to bring her back from the dead. We then cut back to Aizawa as the police have finally arrived and put some restraints on the eel villain. Aizawa, showing his sympathetic side, decides to let the eel villain enjoy Pop's performance for a little while longer before the police take him in. At Narufest, everyone has an amazing time, with the crowd even chanting for an encore. Tsukauchi talks to Aizawa in regards to his instant villain investigation, and Aizawa tells him that he believes the eel villain isn't one of them because he didn't find any syringe relating to Trigger. But he informs Tsukauchi about the bee he saw, and Tsukauchi connects the bee to the reports of insect stings during the mass instant villain outbreak. As they continue to talk, a mysterious man with a scar walks by tossing up a container looking for data, and he sees Hachisuka's last remaining bee, which this man is the same villain we saw all the way back in the first episode, who originally gave Soga and his crew Trigger. The episode ends with the man tossing up the container, and with his super speed jumps into the air, capturing the bee without any of the police noticing. He then smiles at the bee as he walks away from the crime scene. Now, the episode covered a total of about 3 chapters, them being chapters 24, 25, and 26. This episode was absolute peak with non-stop action, and I can't wait for the season finale next week. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the 12th episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. With that said, be sure to Detroit smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe to the Kitoroki channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss any My Hero Academia Vigilantes content, and I'll see you all in the next one.